Google map of Whyalla showing the size of the town with the one steel mill to the upper right and the old shipbuilding yards just below, closed in 1980. One Steel was founded as Hummock Hill in 1901 by BHP, or the Broken Hill Proprietary Limited, as the end of a tramway bringing iron ore from the Middleback Ranges to be used in the lead smelters at Point Pirie as flux. A jetty was built to transfer the ore. The settlement consisted of small cottages and tents clustered around the base of a hill. The arid environment and lack of natural freshwater resources made it necessary to import water in barges from Point Pirie. In 1905, the town's first school opened. It's originally called Hummock Hill School, was subsequently renamed Whyalla Primary School and the Whyalla Higher Primary School. The Whyalla website, where the outback meets the sea, with 300 plus days of sunshine a year. Friendly locals and plenty to see and do. Whyalla is the ideal holiday destination, or the place to live, with spectacular outback landscapes, scenic views, vast coastline, and rich in culture and heritage. It's well presented, isn't it? A map showing the location of Whyalla on the Spencer Gulf between Port Lincoln to the south and Port Augusta to the north. This street map of Port Augusta shows the size. It also shows the old shipyards to the north and the steel yards a bit further north. The Flinders and Freycinet Lookout celebrated cultural heritage. In 1802, Matthew Flinders was the first European to navigate and chart the unknown coast of South Australia, solving the centuries-old mystery as to whether Australia was one continent or two. A few miles offshore he wrote, "Our prospects of a channel are straight, cutting off some considerable portion of Terra Australia was lost." 10 months later, in January 1803, Louis Claude Freycinet, 1779 to 1842, navigated and chartered the isolated coastline for the Boston expedition. How is your knowledge of historical uniforms? Can you tell if this is Freycinet or Flinders? A plaque to Louis Claude Freycinet, outlining his history and explorations. A newspaper article in May 2008 tells the plans to rename Whyalla coastline Cuttlefish Coast. Why, you may ask? I'll tell you. Between May and August each year, the breeding season for the Australian gigantic cuttlefish, Whyalla attracts people from all over the world. The concentration of these unique creatures in the waters around Whyalla is remarkable. It's the largest aggregation of gigantic cuttlefish in the world. There are opportunities to dive and be surrounded by hundreds of these chameleons of the sea. They also call them the doggies of the sea. On every cuttlefish dive, visitors are assured of unlimited encounters. It's an incredible show put on each year off the coast of Whyalla. They come here to lay their eggs because of the protection in this environment said David, a renowned marine specialist. As far as we know, there's no other place where they come in such large numbers to do what they do here. It's a very unique environment, and it's right on our doorstep. There's a dreamlike quality in this underworld world. Up to 170,000 cuttlefish come to spawn in this part of the Gulf on a small 8-kilometer stretch of reef. It's world famous amongst divers. Whyalla is also famous for its fishing. Let's have a look. The Whyalla Yacht Club at sunset. Not, if I may say so, a bad day's catch for a day's fishing. We're keeping a yacht for this. Hummock Hill was essential for the defense of Whyalla, South Australia during the Second World War. It offers an exceptional 360-degree view from the hill. It was developed by BHP as a gift to the city to commemorate the company's centennial year and opened in 1986. The council has since sealed access and revegetated much of the landscape. The latest development in 2002 featured new interpretive signage. Hummock Hill was the site of the first settlement at the turn of the century, and during the Second World War saw service as a gun battery with 4 guns and command and signal posts. In fact, development of the lookout used the odd gun emplacement, which can still be seen today. Some of the early World War II defensive shelters for the gun emplacements still exist as crude concrete barriers. A beautiful scene of the setting sun on the Hummock Hill anti-aircraft gun, commemorating a previous era. The plaque to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the arrival members of the 26th Heavy Anti-Aircraft Battery. 4 guns, the command post, and a signals post was manned by the 26th Heavy Anti-Aircraft Battery. Railways have been an essential part of the development of BHP and the transfer of iron ore to the port and steel mills. Initially, the port shipped iron ore from Iron Knob and other sites directly to the ocean ships for transfer. Open pits provided the iron ore. A recent view of Iron Knob, largely mined out of iron ore. It's a long trip by railway from the Iron Knob site to the Whyalla port and steel mills. A recent Google view of Iron Knob showing the mining of iron ore. As you drive along Highway number 1, the Trans-Australian, you will pass Iron Knob and see the remains of this old iron ore mine. The iron ore was shipped by railway directly along this route to Whyalla and its port. Early steam transport to move the ore used locomotives like this one. Today, iron ore is still transported by railway to the One Steel refinery using more modern locomotives. Here you see iron ore in transport. The One Steel iron ore refinery and steel mill with Whyalla in the background, also showing the shipping port and wharf. There's good reason for the name.